Hello, cross stitch friends. My name is Grace. I am excited to join your community of crafty people. I was brought in by Amanda May of Ardith Designs. She refers to me as her best good friend, and I love that woman dearly. She is everything that you see on her Flosstube. An amazing artist. She is a little nutty, and that is amazing, and I love her so much because of it. Her brain works differently, and that's why it allows her to be as crazy and crafty as she is. So, we have been on many cross-stitch adventures, but the reason that I titled this Is She an Imposter is because I haven't finished very much. I have not. I'm going to show you the 8 things that I have finished ever as far as cross-stitch is concerned. I am mostly a knitter and I crochet a little bit. I'm still learning very much in that realm of things. I weave, I spin. I'm more in that fiber arts uh, genre. However, sorry, um, Amanda May has brought me over to the dark side of cross stitch and has shown me how wonderful it can be. I have started in just my neighborhood, a little cross stitch community of women who meet, and we absolutely enjoy each other's time and watching each other progress and our projects. And they love that I get to go to Nashville with Amanda May and go shopping. But I shopped the first like 2 years as kind of like a knitter sewer would. The last 2 years though, I have been much, much better about targeting things that I'm actually going to use, not just buying pretty colors. So yeah, but I would love to join your community of cross stitchers. I would love to show you what I'm working on as my knitting projects as well. So I named this channel the MidwifeStitcher. So you also may gather that I'm a midwife. That is why I don't have a ton of time for stitching. So I would love to make this channel not just about cross stitch, but also birth, because those are pretty much like crafts, and birth are the two things that I can talk about pretty much unscripted all the time. So I started as a birth worker in 2008 as a postpartum doula and then a birth doula. And about 2 years um, into dueling, I was asked by a home birth midwife if I would like to birth assist with her. And I was like, heck yes. At that point, I had already had a home birth. I had 3 children at the time. My first 2 were born in a hospital. My third was born at home. And right after we got into midwifery together, we both got pregnant. And so it was her first baby, my 4th baby, and we were due a month apart from each other, ended up giving birth within 2 weeks of each other because it's a guest date, as many people know. And so things progressed over the years. I birth assisted with her for many years, and she was like, I really need you to go back to school because you would make a fantastic midwife and I could use the help. And so I listened, I did. My husband was very supportive at that point with pushing me more into the education side of midwifery. For those that don't know, there are 2 paths to midwifery. There is a nurse midwife, so they become a nurse first, and then they get their master's in midwifery, and they usually work in hospitals, although they can deliver at home depending on states. Every state is different. The path that I took is a professional midwife. I Not all professional midwives get a degree. I did get my degree. And it's an associate's degree in midwifery, but I also finished the PEP process for the NARM exam, and which is the North American Registry of Midwives, and it credentials me as a certified professional midwife, CPM. And every state is different. There is so many laws to learn. And I actually live in a tri-state area where I have to learn laws for 3 to 4 different states. It's very complicated. It can be a lot. Anyhow, so my goal would be to do a normal Flosstube like you all do and love, and to show you what I'm working on, be it's gonna be slow, just so you know. And I am not a monogamous stitcher, but I am pretty close to it. I quit being a monogamous stitcher because would finish something and then I would want to work on something and I didn't have anything kitted. And I was like, okay, I see the purpose now. And I'm also a little bit ADHD. And it was really hard for me to think about cross stitches in long term. The more I watch Flosstube, the more I see people that are like, yeah, I plan to get this done in 5 years. I'm like, 5 years? Oh my goodness, that's going to take forever. But it's still pretty amazing that that's their goal. And I'm seeing where 5 years can be amazing. Most of my things that I have finished are very small, very gift giving. You're going to also see that I don't have them physically because I've gifted them. So I am for the first time making something for me for my midwifery office, and I am going to share those with you. I will be imposing the pictures. Well, this is Luna. Other introductions. That's Luna. Funny that both Amanda May and I have a dog named Luna. She is a Cavapoo. She is very princess-esque. She is technically my daughter's. However, she believes she's mine. So you will probably see her a lot in these videos. So let's get down to it. The first cross stitch that I ever did, it was actually because my husband asked me to do it. It was for a coworker who absolutely loves the Christmas Story movie. And I did not appreciate Christmas Story as a child, as a teenager, until I had my own children and got a little bit older and my children got older. I really love that movie now. I see so much like things my children do, things that I do as a parent in that movie now. So he asked me to make him the leg lamp. And I went searching and I found a pattern and I downloaded it and I made it and it was so tiny, like this big. And I was like, oh, well, this was easy and fun. I should make another gift. And I went back in my patterns to try to figure out who produced that pattern. And I will put the picture of it up here. The pattern itself was called Pink Nightmare. It had 3 different little cross stitches that were from the movie. One was the turkey, one was the leg lamp, and one was the bunny suit. I cannot find it. Again, I have the actual pattern. It does not say who produced it on it. I have no idea where I got it from. It was not in my Etsy downloads, so I'm not quite sure who produced that pattern. But it was super cute and super fun. So the same year for Christmas, I got the grand idea of making everybody cross stitches. And I started one for my brother-in-law who his spirit animal is the grumpy cat. And I downloaded Grumpy Cat from Etsy from Cross Stitch for You. And I did not know enough about cross stitch. I thought it was going to be small, kind of like the leg lamp, and it ended up being decently large and a lot of like, not full coverage, but a lot of fill-in. And it took me forever and I was down to the wire like every night and I didn't get anybody else. Everybody else got like, store-bought Christmas gifts that year because I was working on his. But this is the Grumpy Cat that I finished for him. I absolutely love this pattern. I think it's super cute. So that one I believe is still available on Etsy download. It's been a while since I have done Etsy downloads now that I like have I mean I know there's fantastic people designing and putting things on Etsy, but now like my whole world is opened to more designers and I have a whole, one day you will get to see my whole drawer full of patterns that I've brought back from Nashville. I have more cross stitch patterns than I do lifespan for sure. So the next one that I did, it was a dragon from Ingleside Imaginarium. It is a birth announcement. However, I had gotten the dragon finished and I was getting ready to do the writing when this baby was born. And unfortunately, this baby was born sleeping. And so I changed what it said on it, and I do not have a picture of the finished product. I have a picture of the dragon. I looked, I thought I had a picture of the entire thing somewhere, but I cannot find it. So I will show you the picture of the dragon that is finished, and I believe, and I can show you what it looked like, the pattern looked like. So on hers, it's called Burn Bright by Ingleside Imaginarium. Brittany's a brilliant designer. She's amazing. She can do anything she puts her mind to. And it says, "May you always burn bright, little one." And then has the birth date at the bottom and the child's name. So I finished it with the child's name and his birth date. And then I think I changed it to like burning bright in our hearts, or always in our hearts burning, or something. I made it poetic, but it also got off-centered. But I absolutely loved it. I loved the like Celtic to it. And it was so, it was a fun stitch. It was beautiful. I believe I watched all 3 Lord of the Rings while I was doing it, because you gotta have dragons. And so that was one of my favorite patterns that I've finished to honor that little man. And so the next one that I did was Sassy Pants from Bronnie Ritter. This is how she finished it, on a little pillow. And I will put in the picture of how I finished it. And I made it for one of my midwife friends, who she used to show up to our staff meetings, and whenever she had something to air, she would warn us by saying, "Okay, I brought my sassy pants today." So I put that in a cross stitch for her and sent it to her. She has since moved far, far away, but we still keep in contact because she's amazing. So that was also, I love all the stuff that Franny does, and being able to meet these people in person and see how they stitch. And Franny and I like found each other, and I didn't know she was a doula too, as well as one of the ladies at Black Cauldron Dye Works. She is a NICU nurse, and we, like, birth workers find each other. And I think we tend to be crafty people because we need something to decompress when you're in that high adrenaline, supporting families all the time. You need something that is just kind of decompressing and creative to put out there in the world. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to find those people in Nashville, and, you know, just to talk to them and to understand where they are and where you are, and talk about things. So the next one that I did was for my sister. I found this one at Nashville as well. Spot Colors has very easy kits. I do enjoy that about them. They had some new designs this past Nashville that they had partnered with, and I enjoyed those as well. But this one, I do not have a picture of the finished product for this one. It is Badass from Spot Colors. My sister loves the book. What is Jen something? You Are a Badass. And she absolutely loves that book, and she quotes that book all the time. And so that is, I made that for her to go in her office so that she can have fun with that. The next one is Bent Creek. I bought that kit, the Winter Owl. I bought it last year at Nashville, or the year before last at Nashville, and I finished it really fast. At first I wasn't so sure about like the burlappy fabric, and I, like, when I knit, I'm a snob when it comes to yarn. I do not like to touch things that are and work with things that are not pleasing to my skin. And so working on Aida, even sometimes I'm not a big fan, and really stiff linens I'm not a big fan. But the burlap I wasn't so sure about. But once I actually got going with it in the kit, it was fine, and it turned out beautiful. And my sister was the recipient of that, and she loved it. And so that is where that one ended up. I do have a picture of that one and the next one together, so I'll put them up here. They went to 2 different people, and these were all supposed to be Christmas gifts. and they got them around Easter time because that's the way it goes sometimes. So the other one is Parachuting Chicks, and that is by Amanda May at Ardith Design. And again, the things that she comes up with, the Parachuting Chicks was one of the things that we took to the first year of Nashville when we went, and we had no idea what to expect. We were just happy to be there. But she brought so many things that were very brightly colored. We brought books, we brought journals, we brought all kinds of, like, a variety of things to see what would sell, what wouldn't sell, that sort of thing. So Parachuting Chicks is in her books, Rainbow of Threads and Garden Beds. And she has so many cool designs in this book. I believe it's still on her website. If it's not, I'll make her put it on her website, because I know she's got a bunch of them. But she has wool applique in here. She has a sampler that is just absolutely gorgeous. She did the color conversion, and she did the color conversion off the back of the sampler so that it was like more true to the color, and it turned out so gorgeous. It was stitched. We took both to Nashville, the original and the one that she recreated. And that's one of the things I love about her, is that she can do samplers and then she'll put a spin on it, her spin on it. And so, like, in the book, let me see if I can find it. She took from the sampler, she took the motif of the birds and then she put them into a wool applique. So this book is freaking amazing. But I've also, we noticed that a lot of the places didn't want to buy books. They wanted individual patterns. And so we have toyed with the idea of taking some of these more popular patterns out and making them individual patterns. So if you love that idea, comment and let us know, because these are so cute. These are so cute. So here is Parachuting Chicks, the pattern. And I love the way that she does her patterns, because I need the colors, I need the big, and it's beautiful. So you can see my finished one. I didn't know that I was going to be showing anybody, so this is all you get of that picture. It was gifted for Easter to my stepmother-in-law, and she absolutely loved it. Here's the sampler I was talking about. It is so gorgeous, but you see the birds that she took out of the motif out of it. It's such a gorgeous sampler. So beautiful. Everything she touches is amazing. And yeah, so she has so many cool things that she can do in here. She has more cross-stitch things, little tutorials. So she also took, with the Parachuting Chicks, she took them and made a wool applique 3D parachuting chick. And so then you also have your little chick down here that is cross-stitch, and then your wool applique up here. So cute. So stinking cute. And that's one of the things that, like, I didn't understand, that cross-stitch is newer. Like, it is about the colors. There's still samplers, and learning about samplers was so cool to me. The first year we went, the lady next to us has all antique samplers, and she taught me about them, and just going in there for the first time, realizing it was 11, 12, 13-year-olds that were finishing these. I'm like, I can't even get my 13-year-old to, like, make his bed. Like, how is this, wow. But it was a different time. It was basically their video games, right? So, like, it's how they entertained themselves. It is how they spent their Sunday afternoons. It meant a lot to them. And just learning the history. I absolutely love history, and I absolutely love crafts. So the history of crafts really mean, like, I get excited about it. So, okay, I think, was that all of them? Oh, Winter Cardinal. So Winter Cardinal is the other cross stitch that I did of Amanda May's. This one is super popular. Every year at Nashville, we've taken this pattern, and it is sold out pretty much every year. She did hers on, like, a mossy green, and I absolutely love it. But I've bought a lot of fabric at Nashville over the years, and so I have to use what I have purchased. And so I decided to do mine on Fibrana Whims Belfast linen 32 count in steel. And so this is the fabric that I used, and I actually really love the way mine turned out too. And that's one of the things I love. I always thought cross stitch was just um, white Ada with little, pictures and patterns. I didn't really understand how vast the patterns are for cross stitch. And so it's been amazing to learn all about this. So that is um, the color I chose for mine. This is the finished product. And that one went to my mother-in-law, meant for Christmas. She got it at Easter. But hey, she got it. So let's move on to the things that I am currently working on. As I said before, I'm not a wow, that word is hard today. Monogamous stitcher. I am more of a 1, 2, 3 project gal. I already have my next one in my mind as to what I want to do. I will probably be kitting that up soon. But these ones are almost there. They're almost done. So they're not pretty. They're not pretty like what you guys keep your stuff in. I use the clear plastic, waterproof cheapies from Amazon. Reason being, I did have a nice one. The parachuting chicks was in it, and it got thrown in the backseat of my car. My son spilled chocolate milk on it, and when you look real close in that pattern, there's still chocolate milk because it seeped through. And even though I washed it immediately and I spot treated it and I tried, there's still little bits. So I'm like, I cannot be trusted with fabric bags. So everything is in plastic. And so that's that. So this pattern, another one from Market, and I bought this one maybe the first year we went. And so I met Annie from Dirty Annie's. She's the sweetest gal. Like, I don't like every time I go, I usually only buy, like, I go the last day because I'm there as a helper. And so the helpers, we usually go on Sunday when things have calmed down. Some things are sold out, but we let the stores buy first, and then we, come in later and purchase what we want. But if she doesn't have something, she's like, let me mail it to you. And I'm like, no, the postage is more than the pattern. Like, I'm not letting you do that. I will just go buy it retail. Every year she ends up giving me something, and she is so sweet. She is so just the epitome of a Southern Belle sweetheart. Love her to death. So the one that I am currently working on, this one's kind of a gift for my husband. Although my husband doesn't get it. He doesn't get the crafty stuff. And so if he does not react to, oh, wow, that's really sweet, I love that, whatever, I'll give it to one of my other gardening friends and they will love it. So it is Canning Season by Dirty Annie. And it says, grab your balls, it's canning season. And I love a good pun, love a good play on words. And it's sweet and it's beautiful. And so I am doing everything on the called for. So it is Witchelt's black chalkboard is the fabric. I pretty much only work on this one outside because though my eyes aren't so bad, black is hard. Black is hard. I did change the called for. It calls for Weeks Dye Works, and I think it was like Aqua Island Breeze. And when it came, it was a little bit too green for me. It was more green than blue. And I really like the blue ball jars. So I ended up using Ymir's from Almond and M&M's silks, and I used her sapphire, and it turned out the way I wanted it to turn out. And okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is the one that I'm making for myself for the first time. I'm making something I'm going to keep. So this is one of my new favorite designers. Well, she's not new to me. Stitchy Pros, Holly Freeman. She's the sweetest person. I got to meet her also at Nashville, and I am working on Woodland Welcome Bell Pull, and it is so beautiful. It says, beneath the pines where breezes sway, a newborn comes to greet the day. The woodland hums and hearts anew as love expands to welcome you. And then you would put the baby's birth year at the bottom. I just put another tree in because I'm planning on hanging this in my midwifery office and keeping it. I absolutely love this. Now, I kept the little tag to be able to tell what I used because I used the fabric that I had. Um, it's not the called for fabric. I lost it. It's a little tag. I know I bought it at market, but it's turning out so beautifully. I absolutely love. It's only 5 colors, but it looks like so much more because of the variegation. And this is done with I believe is it coloring cotton? Let me look. No, Cottage Garden. This is Cottage Garden threads, and I love their design of how they put them on the cards. You don't need a thread drop. It is you just hold it and you can pull, and it pulls one out. It's already cut for you. Absolutely love that. It's also super soft, super soft. I really, really, really love their cottons. I might have a new favorite. I don't know. So anyhow, this is the one that I am currently in love with and working on, and I'm stitching this one in hand because it's so easy. I want to say that this is a 32 count Lagana. I'm pretty sure that that is what I am working, doing this one on, but it is turning out just absolutely gorgeous. And it's like a simple enough pattern that I'm not struggling at all with it, and I hope to not. You will see, like, we could probably play a game on my Flosstube of spot the mistakes. Most of the time, I do not go back if it's not going to affect the whole piece and correct mistakes. If I'm one off, I mean, I probably should have a t-shirt that says, she tries real hard, but she's one off. So that is, that's the other cross stitch that I am working on. I would love to show you the knit that I am working on. This is a sweater that a midwife friend of mine keeps wearing to birth. She knit it herself, and I was like, can I pretty please? Can you tell me what that pattern is so I can go buy it? And it is the Roy G. Biv sweater. So you are meant to use your stash for this. And my stash just happens to be mainly purple. So mine's going to end up being more of an ombre than a rainbow. But it's just so cute. This is done by Parkin Knit. And it is, so on hers, she made hers in a rainbow, and I absolutely love it. Mine's going to end up being purple ombre with some other colors flecked in because I am using it as a stash buster. It's still going to be expensive because my stash is expensive because I have expensive taste when it comes to yarn. So I just started this one. This one is been a super easy knit so far. Okay, let me show you this. So it is a dark purple on the bottom, but I'm using a green orange sock weight that is going through it as well to kind of conform everything, but also add a bit of like sparkle and color to it. So I have the very bottom rung, and then I'm also starting the sleeves as well to try to keep the colors kind of going up together with the sleeves. We'll see how it turns out. We'll see how it turns out. It's been a decently easy knit so far, and I absolutely love being able to like turn on a movie, zone out, and knit. And it is very, very helpful for my mental health, and just absolutely love being able to knit and create, and it's it's part of how I stay sane. So those are the projects that I'm working on currently. I probably will be working on them for a while. Couple other things that I would love to show you. And I have a Save the Stitches from Amanda May. We have a big surprise coming for you. So if you stay to the end, we will discuss that as well. So I had a client who I've delivered 3 of her babies. this week. She sent me a package. Her sister has a knitting shop and she knows that I absolutely love knit and crochet. And it is Magpie Fibers, and it's based in Frederick, Maryland. It is downtown, and she sent me this lovely box of gifts. And so I wanted to share with you in case you are a knitter as well or crocheter, and just kind of shout out to this small business and to my client who's amazing and super sweet to send this to me. I absolutely love it. So the first big thing she sent me was a needle felting kit. And it's a cute little fawn, which I absolutely love. We live in the woods, and a mama fawn or a mama deer leaves her little fawn in my backyard every year. And I find it, I can't mow my grass when she does that, but I also, or at least that patch, I also love it. It's like she trusts me to like leave her little baby and go eat and, you know, come back. So needle felting, I've tried in the past. It's not my forte. However, this kit looks like it's really well put together and I'm excited to try it again. And I really think I will display that little deer. So, you know, when I get a minute to needle felt, I will do that. So she sent me cute little notebooks, which of course, you know, we all need. I have a plethora. I believe that is the technical term for how many notebooks I have. I have a plethora of notebooks, but each one touches something different in my needs. Cute little ones that fit in my purse and in my bag so that I can actually write down, you know, what count and who made the fabric and dyed it and all that stuff would be amazing. She threw in some chocolate, to which my children were like, "Can I have some?" I'm like, "No, this is mommy's chocolate." It is dark chocolate sea salt caramel, which is actually my favorite. So she got spot on with that one. It's a tape measure. And as you know, midwives and cross stitchers and knitters all need lovely ones. So it's a monogrammed with the magpie. Um, and it's one of the retractable ones. It's super adorable, covered in leather. And I love it a lot. Some hand cream, which all of us need for, and I don't even know, organic OUD. So I haven't tried it yet, but some nice hand cream is always good. A little findings pouch to keep all of that in. And once again, it's like it has the magpie on the side of it. The cutest little tiniest scissors. Absolutely excited for that because everybody who is a cross stitcher or a knitter, a good pair of scissors hits like that's the best, the absolute best. So these are great little thread scissors, and I'm so excited for those. And they came in a cute little case. I got little doggy sticky notes. And my son is always stealing my sticky notes, so it is a good thing to have. This crochet hook that she sent me is gorgeous. Let me see if I can get it open and show you. It is teak, and it's like more ergonomical than other ones that I have. I just have the ones from, you know, Michael's or whatever. So it is beautiful, and it is, you know, thick to hold on to your hand, which is good because as I get older and try to craft more, my hands hurt more. So I absolutely am excited about that. Stitch markers, which are used in knitting and crochet and weaving for that matter. And these are beautifully bright colored and they screw in, which is awesome. And then she gave me a magazine of crochet patterns, and they're like really cute. I absolutely love these. So I don't know which one I'm going to start on first, but I got to finish my other sweater first. So yeah, so super, super excited for that. So those are the Stitchy gifts that I got this week. You know, it's not every week that I get Stitchy gifts. I'm super excited. My aunt's probably the only other person who sends me Stitchy stuff, and it's usually like she will send me a pattern and the yarn to stitch something for the kids, and I love that. I love that idea. I did. One of them was a storybook, and we made beach dresses, and I actually took them to the beach and took pictures in it. It was super sweet, super adorable. So, okay, so let's get into what I was alluding to on Ardith Designs Save the Stitches. So she has run into a problem where she has collected all of these Save the Stitches. And we had this idea a long time ago for Save the Stitches and being able to pass it on to you guys. Because they're just like, she puts them up for a time in her house, but then like she would like for them to move on to the next thing. And we don't want to donate them back. We want somebody to enjoy them. We don't want to run the risk of them ending up in a landfill. She's super about sustainability and about trying to, reduce, reuse, recycle, and all of that. So we're going to do a giveaway of a pattern that she has thrifted, or one that I have thrifted, and we would like to pass on to you. So we are not going to say giveaway or any of those like words in the comment section. Just leave me an emoji of how crafting makes you feel, and that will enter you into it. You need to be 18 so that you can give me your address. But please don't say, I want the giveaway or anything like that, because I'm not all about trolls in my first Flosstube here. So what we're giving away. This is a kit. I am unsure if it is complete, but it appears to have all of the threads with it and the pattern with it. And it says, "Bless this house, O Lord, we pray." And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And this one is the Creative Circle, and it is 616, Bless This House. So that is the giveaway we're going to do for this video. Back here I have 4 cross stitches that she has saved the stitches for. We are going to put them, so little story time. You're going to get lots of stories in my cross stitch Flosstube. The reason I met Amanda was because I was her doula for her first child. And I show up, her water's broken, she's in labor, and she is in her eBay room packing eBay packages. And I am like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I have to get these out before I have the baby." And I'm like, "No, isn't there a vacation mode or something?" She's like, "Yes, I'm putting it on vacation mode, but I need to get these out." So we are packing eBay packages. And I had done eBay a little bit at that point, but not, never thought about it as a store. Fast forward to after my last child, I found a YouTuber who was flipping things from Goodwill. And I was like, "Oh, I forgot that I could use eBay like that to earn extra cash. I'm on maternity leave, and when you're self-employed, you don't have maternity leave benefits." So I was like, "Well, let me get rid of some of this stuff around my house and put it on eBay." So I did. That turned into, I think I'm in year 6 now of having an eBay store. I've niched down to mostly jewelry. I absolutely love vintage jewelry. And I don't wear a whole lot of it. I probably should start, but I collect it, and then so I will buy some, and then I end up putting it into my eBay store. I also do gold and silver a little bit as well. And so I have this eBay store that I am, that Amanda and I came up with this idea to put the Save the Stitches through my eBay store so that you guys can purchase them, and we will mail them to you, and they will not get thrown out and into the trash. We will be starting the bidding at the price that we paid for them. So $5. That's like usually how much we pay for them. So the first one, oh, I should probably get out my measuring tool that I just had so that I can tell you how big this is. So this one is in the frame. It is 15.5 by 13. I will be advertising it as going in the frame to your home. However, if you would like us to unframe it and roll it, we can do that as well. It will save you a little bit on shipping. This one is beautifully done. It was professionally matted. And it is a sampler by GBS from 2001. It has a patriotic theme to it. The next one is also professionally matted, and it is A Grandma is Someone Special to Love. And it's a bear with flowers, and it's just so sweet. Would make a good gift for a crafty grandma, maybe as an announcement for your birth. Super adorable. Let's measure this one so I can tell you how big it is. This one in the frame is 14.5 by 13. Super cute, very well done. You're gonna have to laugh at Amanda and I because it took us, I don't know, about 30 seconds to get this one. If there's a ring in the tub, answer it. And both of us are like, why would anybody answer their phone in the tub? That's not safe. We both think sometimes very literally, a little too literally, but now we totally understand. This one is also professionally matted and would be perfect for your bathroom. This one is 15 by 13. This one is huge, but it's so cute. The matting is a little bit stained. There is not glass in this one, but the cross stitch itself seems to be in good shape with a little bit of, it looks like pug hair because it came from Amanda's house. It is adorable. It's got doggy bones all around it and doggy bone buttons. Super, super cute. If you can start the day without caffeine, if you can resist boring people with your troubles, if you can eat the same food every day and be grateful for it, if you can understand when your loved ones are too busy to give you any time, if you can take criticism and blame without resentment, if you could face the world without lies and deceit, if you can say honestly that deep in your heart you have no prejudice against creed, color, religion, or politics, then my friend, you are almost as good as your dog. I absolutely love it. So this one is super cute. This one can be shipped to you in the frame. If you would like for us to take it out, we can also do that and save you a little bit of shipping. In the frame, it is 21 inches by 17.5 inches. So, super cute. So the way this is going to work is when this video goes up, it will also be the first day of the auction. It will be a 7-day auction on eBay. My store name is Almost Heaven Treasures. I will be posting all of that down below to give you guys a chance to save the stitches. So if you were only here for the stitching, you may proceed with your day. If you would like to stay for the birth story, I will tell you the birth story. So I decided to start at the very beginning because it's a very good place to start. The first birth that I went to as a doula, I was actually, I had 2 kids at this time, both of them the hospital births, and I had trained as a doula. I learned all kinds of things that were totally different than the classes I took with like my first child at the hospital. I was actually a pregnant teen. I got married when I was a teenager and we had a baby the following year. And so my high school, I was a senior. My high school had a teen pregnancy class that they offered, and I'm very grateful I took that class. Very, very grateful. I had a beautiful support system. Both of our families were supportive of us, and we had no problem raising a child together. Not all of the girls in that class had the same, and it really broke my heart. Other girls had been moms for 2 years at that point. Some coming from other countries, and there was a darling lady who was giving her baby up for adoption, and I could not imagine at that time, but what an expression of love for that girl. And so I learned a lot, but I learned through my doula course and through the childbirth education course that I did as part of the doula training. I was like, why is this not being taught to all women? And it really changed the way I thought about birth. It's the way I I changed, birth no longer was fearful for me, because knowledge is power, and when you look at it in a different perspective, it wasn't scary. It was actually pretty amazing. My third birth, was absolutely amazing. So I was working for the government at the time because we were a young couple who needed, um, money, and my husband was going to school, and I was a contractor, and it made decent money, but I was not happy. I do not have the personality to sit with the same people every day, all day in a cubicle. I was dying a slow, miserable death, in my cubicle. The people I worked with were lovely, but I needed more. I needed to be helping. I didn't feel like I was being a helper in the world, and I wasn't happy. So I had this one instant where a coworker said that she was going to become a doula. And I said, well, I've kind of always been a birth junkie. I've heard of doulas, but I don't really understand what they are. And can you explain it to me? And so she explained it to me. We went um, to doula training together. And I was still working, but I had made like, not a contract, but like, uh, very clear, uh, with my boss, like if I got called to a birth, I had to use my hours a certain way, couldn't make up hours. Like it was, uh, we made it work. First birth that I attended was 4 coworkers. And it was, the dad was the coworker of mine, and we were at a picnic, and they learned that I was going to be a doula, and they said, well, have you attended births yet? And I'm like, no, I'm still looking for like my first couple. I'm doing it for free right now. And they were like, oh, well, we would love to have you if you want to come and teach us. And, we're brand new at this too. So it was their first baby. And I was on fire about birth. And I was so passionate. And I learned a whole bunch of new things. And I just wanted to share all of the new things that I learned with everybody. So I went to their home. I taught them childbirth, like coping mechanisms, and moving in birth, and the stages of labor, and what to expect, and all of the things. So the big day came, and we had talked about laboring at home for a little while before going in. um, but her labor started fast and furious. They went to the hospital. They didn't call me until they were at the hospital, and they had gone to the hospital. The hospital had said, okay, you're not far enough along, you need to leave. They made it like down the elevator, and she was like, nope, take me back. And she went back up, and it was progressing relatively fast. So by the time I got there, she had already asked for the epidural, but she didn't have it yet. And she was just, you know, being plowed by these contractions. And so I remember it was October, and I remember putting my cold hands on her and being like, I'm sorry, my hands are cold. And she's like, no, 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 please, please, please. That is so good. And so I just put my hands, I think it was on her face, and she was instantly calmed down. And I was like, oh, interesting. That just a temperature change can help, with some coping, a distraction of some sort or whatever. They had her in the bed at this point. They were prepping all of the things for her epidural. She got the epidural and was resting. Uh, I believe Dad went and ate. We had a little bit of time by ourselves, which was good. Her mom was also part of the birth, I believe. And I remember because I was supposed to have met her mom. Like this baby came a little bit early. We were supposed to have one more meeting, and they had kind of warned me that in tight situations, she's prone to like passing out. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I will try to help as much as I can. So she pretty much sat, from what I remember, she sat in the corner and like was okay. And she did fine. I don't remember her where she was in the moment of the baby being born. So as labor progressed, the doctor showed up, and this is very, very indicative of a hospital birth, where it's your nurse. Your nurse makes or breaks your birth. Really, they are the ones there. They are the ones, watching the baby, monitoring the baby, monitoring you. And we had. I don't remember her nurse, but her nurse must have been doing pretty well. But this doctor comes in, and she seemed relieved. And she was like, "This is so beautiful. There's a mom and a dad and a doula." She's like, "This is going to be a great birth." And we didn't labor very long. So they called me at like 5 a.m. and we had a baby at like lunchtime, I want to say, or a little bit after. It was very um, quick, and I kind of got spoiled for my first birth. But it was so amazing because this is the first time I was watching someone else give birth. I had given birth twice, but that's way different than watching someone else give birth. And she pushed her baby out beautifully. They didn't even break down the bed, I don't believe. And what I remember was that as the baby came out, so babies do cardinal movements. They come down and then they turn, and then they turn again to come out. And this baby came down, and as it turned, it looked its dad straight in the face. And he just turned into a puddle of tears. And I turned into a puddle of tears and excitement, and so amazing. And this mom was so good. She was so ready to be a mom. She was on it, like we breastfed right away. She did have breastfeeding issues. She had an oversupply of milk. And it's one of those things where like she was so dedicated to it, had tons of milk, but in the end, it was way to interrupt the storytelling, doggy. She was an amazing mom. The breastfeeding journey was hard, but it's one of those things that like had everything lined up perfectly, she would have breastfed forever. She had so much milk that she ended up with abscesses, and had to pivot a bit with the breastfeeding. But it was amazing. It was an amazing birth. And I remember just going home from that birth on such a high of wanting to do this forever. And just like it was beautiful. And it had been, this was like 5 a.m. to like 12:30 birth. Very spoiled for my first birth. Went without a hitch, no issues, no problem. That baby's heart rate stayed, gorgeously. And afterwards, like the family meeting them for the first time, um, this baby was just like so wanted, and so like um, by not only its parents, but parents' friends and parents, like it was a beautiful time to have a baby for them. And they so I went home and had like this birth high for days. This is the best job ever. I'm so excited for this. And the next one taught me that birth sometimes is not as straightforward and not as short. So I will leave it there. And we will continue birth stories later on. I hope that you have enjoyed this floss tube, and I hope to see you the next time I get around to doing this.